I'm going to crawl in backwards. Make your shelter a little bit higher so you can put a bunch of boughs down for the bough bed. I'm showing you the shelter part of it, but the boughs on the ground or snow, that's going to keep you insulated from the snow. That's going to help complete your shelter. Anyway, time to get in. It's working. It's working. Hello everybody. Today it's a nice winter day, plenty of snow. I brought my trusty snow shovel. It's retractable and very dependable. It comes in pieces, so it's very versatile. Even the blue handle comes off, or the blue shovel part. So it packs up nicely. There we go. So I'm going to use this to build a snow shelter. You can see the snow is deep. I'm going to use boughs for the roof. I'm going to start by making a pile of snow. I'm going to let it settle, harden. Then I'm going to add boughs as a roof. So here's a little example. Take it, break it, and get some boughs. This is white pine. This looks like balsam fir. So I'm going to gather a lot more of those. I'm going to start my pile of snow and we're going to get to it. I want to make the pile of snow. The pile of snow, I want to make it longer than I am, just by a little bit. And I also want to make it high enough where when I go in it, my body's not going to touch the roof and potentially collapse it. So I'm going to do either some shoveling or some kind of like, kind of almost a raking action, throwing snow that way. I find those two techniques work out pretty well for me. Now it's time to get going and build that big pile of snow. Now it's time to let it set up and settle. I'll take this opportunity to grab some more boughs for my roof. right, I got my boughs. Got a nice big pile. You kind of get snowy. Use the boughs to clean yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Let the boughs do a second duty. There's a lot of snow on the trees. I tried to knock it out before. I grabbed the branches, but that's how it goes. All right. All right, my goal is to stay as dry as possible and get as little snow on me as possible. Getting the boughs off the trees with the snow that fell on me, okay, fine, that's natural. But this part I want to stay as dry as possible, and that's going to pay off in the long run. I want to make the shelter a little bit wider than my body so I can fit and get in and out easy. I want to make it high enough so if I roll to my side or crawl in, it's going to be tall enough so the roof won't collapse. And I want to make it long enough for my body and just a little extra longer. So I'm going to do that. First, I got to dig out a trench. I'm going to make a rectangle path through the middle. And I'm going to throw the snow on the side so I can preserve the snow, because I dug it, I moved it, so might as well put it to extra use. What I'm doing now is making the shelter longer. It's long enough for my body, but the snow that I'm taking out, I might as well put it to good use. I'll reinforce the strength of the back of the shelter and build it up at the same time while clearing snow. Double duty. Well, that didn't take too long. I fit. I mark where my body goes, and that's where I'll stop with the boughs, right here. Dust myself off. Gonna make that roof. I'm gonna use a guide where I marked it, which is right there. I'll crisscross. Some boughs go ends one way, some go the other way. I do some diagonals. That's extra strength. This looks like it's going to be stronger this way. We'll keep crisscrossing. Keep it strong. This way, I can make a roof, and I don't have to worry about piling a big pile of snow up, and I can control how much snow's on the roof. And that's a big deal, because if you make a roof that's too big and heavy, well, it could collapse on you. You don't need that. That's not surviving. you don't make it that way. So that's a consideration. Sure, the snow will harden and get strong, but why take a chance? Oh, this is looking good. This is good coverage here. I use every bough that I have. It's good practice. Even this one. Why should I shake the snow off? I'm going to get snow on top of them anyway. I'll get the end facing that way. Well, that's looking quite nice. Now, if I made a shelter with just boughs, well, the thing about it is, I will not have an enclosure. I could have plenty of air spaces that I got to deal with. I don't really want air spaces. So this system makes it so you don't have to worry about air spaces. So there's some good coverage here. Snow's not really going to have much chance of falling through. The next part, I'm going to put some snow on top of the roof. And that's going to make some more insulation. And even if it snows tonight, that's going to make even more insulation. But it's going to be an enclosed structure. It will have ventilation, especially by the doorway. But let's seal it up with seal the roof anyway, but not too heavy with the snow. One advantage of doing this is I'm creating a walkway around the shelter, so it's easier for me to move around it. So I'm kind of like using what's available close by, and I'm also making it easy to maneuver around this shelter. It's a nice system. I've made ones where I'm crawling in and pulling out snow, getting wet, getting tired rolling around. This is keeping me a whole lot drier than I would have been. Definitely a whole lot drier. This stuff takes a little bit of time, but well, this is actually a pretty quick build so far. There's been times where I've used just a stick, a branch or a flat piece of wood that I broke off a tree, and I used it like a paddle. I was pushing snow around, digging, filling up the gaps of snow, and it took some time, but I did it. But I got plenty wet, which I didn't like. But if that's all I had, that was what I was trying to test. How could I build one of these without a shovel? So a shovel is an essential piece of gear. It's good to have a shovel with you. You can see a little settling in the roof. That's not exactly a bad thing. I could add more. I could add some sticks across, and that will give it some more integrity. But the boughs interlocking and helping each other out, they're going to do the job. I don't have to worry about it. Especially when things settle even more. Things will seal, crystallize more. So I'm not worried. As long as I cover the roof, that's what matters. If I see some boughs, is it the end of the world? Not really. However, this dark stuff, I want to get rid of it, because if the sun comes out, it's going to help it melt because it's darker. So I do want to cover that up, or I want to take it out. That way the structure lasts longer and doesn't melt. But the intent is this would be a quick overnight shelter, and it's not taking too terribly long. Now, when you're letting the snow crystallize, you can take your time and start your fire. Make some food, boil some water, that sort of thing. Nothing wrong with that, because there's plenty of things to do. You can gather firewood. So you don't just make it and wait. Do something useful, do something constructive. Now we're getting close to the end here. I'm filling in whatever gaps are here. The loose snow is nice because it kind of finds where it needs to go. All right, a little bit more. If the snow finds itself in the entrance, that's okay. I'm gonna dig it out anyway. So the line where I need to go is right in here. So even though this is a little bit hanging down, my body will still be beyond that. And the nice thing about this is if it snows a little bit, that's going to be more protection against the weather. So that's actually a plus. I'm going to clean out the inside. Now it's time to try it out. I'm going to crawl in backwards. Make your shelter a little bit higher so you can put a bunch of boughs down for the bough bed. I'm showing you the shelter part of it, but the boughs on the ground or snow, that's going to keep you insulated from the snow. That's going to help complete your shelter. Anyway, time to get in. It's working. It's working. I'm in pretty good. All right. This works. I'm in. I can adjust a little bit while I'm inside. I have room to move a little bit. Do my little low crawl. And that's where having boughs would be good. That way I wouldn't get snow on myself. But I'm going to dust myself off and show you the next part. If it's windy, you're going to want to block the wind. So I'm going to make a wall in front of this shelter. That's going to be extra protection. I'll be able to step over this wall, but I have all this extra snow. I'm going to put it to good use right now. I like these boulders that I saved. Well, that one's trying to escape. The important thing is I'm getting a wall in front of the shelter. Right here. There's a lot of snow over here. I'm going to utilize this snow. Sure, snow's going inside, but I have a shovel. I'm going to dig that out. I like to tap the snow to help it crystallize, harden up. That's what I did when I was building it. Might as well utilize the same technique now. Now to dig it out. All right, it's coming along. Okay. Now to show you exactly what I mean. I step over this wall to get in, make myself some room. There's a balance between cozy and too tight and too roomy. Too roomy and you lose your thermal effects as much as when it's smaller. Smaller helps trap in some heat. Okay. So now I'm in. I got my wall here, so that's going to protect me from some wind, and that's a big deal. I can make the wall closer, farther. Doesn't matter. All right. Kind of have a little bit of a door with a shovel. I can move some snow around. I can use some of those boulders or big chunks that I had. And that's the shelter. There's a little bit more we can do with this, so I'm going to go get prepared and show you what it's all about. This should be a better shot of the wall. You should be able to see the wall a lot better now with this camera angle. So that's my wind protector. Speaking of protection, we probably want protection from extra wind or the ground. This would be a great time to introduce my survival scarf. It's my version of what I learned from Morse Kohansky. We talked about it. He says come up with your own ideas, so I definitely did. The scarf adds protection. It keeps me warm. It can also act like a extra hood. Get even more protection. And that actually came in handy for me once, and it makes a big difference. But the scarf can be a layer to lay on. I can line the inside of this with my scarf, and that could be something I can lay on so I don't get snow on me. The scarf is a tube, and I have strings on the inside, parachute cord, so I can tie up the ends. I usually go one way and then go with the other cord the other way. I'll tie it up. So I have the same system on the other end where you can pull out the parachute cord. Here I call this a chair panel. This is where I'd put a stick so I could make a chair. That's for another video. Let me show you another application besides lining the inside or even putting boughs in here and then lining the inside. I am going to make kind of a door plug. So I'm going to put some snow in here. I don't want to make the snow too heavy or too hard because that makes it harder to manage. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. Drop the gloves, so you got to account for your gear. Snow goes inside. Now I don't want to make it too compact because I want to make it so it's a door plug, but not too heavy of a door plug. I'm going to add some more snow. Because if the snow freezes at night and gets solid, that could make a door plug harder to take out of the entrance. I think for the sake of getting the process how to do. So now Tighten it up, swirl it around, make kind of a easy to remove knot, kind of a slip knot. Definitely want to take the shovel with me inside, so when it's time to sleep, I'll have a way of getting myself out if I need to. I can even take the shovel apart, even more like I showed you. But time to get in. Like I said, shovel goes in with me. I'll put it handle first this time. Here we go. I'm inside. Pull the door plug. Put the shovel across. There, I got some protection. Excellent. Excellent. This will help me out in a storm. The wind was blowing so hard the other day. I'm not sure a tarp would have got it done for me. So, there you go. That's the survival scarf introduction. That's my version of the snow shelter. Keep on drilling. Please like and subscribe, help my channel grow. And that's the survival snow shelter for you to survive. Let's take one last look at this shelter. You can see it's closed in. I have my snowshoes there to signify that, yes, there's a human or person in this area, so it won't be mistaken. So that's a nice little feature too. But you can see how the entrance is blocked off nice. I have my wall in front. I got my plug from my survival scarf. The shovel's acting like a wind block also, but I got plenty of ventilation in there. You need to dress for the weather too. That's always important. I can spend some time making sure I'm dry and warm by starting a fire. The back I had to fix a little bit when my feet went in, but that's no problem. A few more boughs, a little bit more snow, sealed up the back, and I'd say that's a successful survival snow shelter, able to withstand some heavy winds and the night.